Alright, hello there. I am Timmy Crane, or Dragon Soul, as most people know me now. I did get day 2 at the YCS Providence, and so I'm going to be sharing my list. I did go 8-3, very unfortunate. I lost the last round to Malice. If I had done a slightly better hand, I would have won it, but that's what happens. But I will admit it was a very impressive run. I'm very happy. So I guess we'll start starting off the list because that's what we're here for. So we start off with 2 Nunu, 3 Noya, and 3 of our favorite spell card ever printed, Snake Rain. These are the kind of, main cards in the deck. You want to open these, of course. They were, of course, very nice. Nunu Fit was a little weird. I'll get into why in a moment, but yeah, I mean, these are kind of just, you're running them. Why aren't you running these? Then the one-off Ogdos, basically. I'm going to count 9 Sword as an Ogdo monster. It basically is. I know you use it with the Mitsus, but it is basically an Ogdo monster. Who's going to deny that? Okay. Curse, Neff, and Aaron. I do not run Zoha in this list. That's what makes Nunu kind of weird. Nunu is not full combo on its own, but I was thinking, well, we have enough 4s, we're probably going to see it. In testing, it was like okay without Zoha, but I mean, I will say I did miss it a little. But they're all doing their job very well here. Some will question by Aaron over Ogdoadic. Some people run them, and I think it is up to personal preference completely. Aaron is more usable because it plays, it can help punish Fua and Molcharmies, which was pretty nice. I didn't really do that much today in the run, but it is still nice to have that option. But it's also way more flexible and has better synergy with like Ame and the board nuke and all that stuff. So this card was like more synergistical, I felt, than Ogdoadic. And I didn't really need an extra board nuke. I don't think Ogdoadic is bad, of course, but I do not want to run both. I think most people ran that. You don't want to run too many bricks. And never having anything is stupid. I have to point it out. Curse's drawback is also another drawback. Keep it in mind. There are ways you can punish it, including if you can remove the monster that they took back, Aaron will search a card. Any card that can get punished, taking advantage by Curse drawback, I will mention. There are plenty of cards that can, so don't worry about that. And then the Ogdo spells, besides obviously Snake Rain, of course, we showed that earlier. 2 Daybreak and a Lily. Some will go like 1 and 1. Some even just like run 1 Daybreak. I do not find that's the best option. I don't want to have Noya like burn out of spell and trap searches. If you burn out of those, it feels really bad, and you're going to get one on your opponent's turn because of Futsu. So I decided we'll run 3, and it felt like it was nice. Also meant I opened Daybreak more often, which was very useful for like dodging targeting, and it did feel very good like throughout the day. I didn't really hate the ratios. There's like nothing. I wouldn't change these, if I'm being honest. These are like completely normal. So now for the Mitsurugis, we went 2 Aramasa, 2 Saji, 1 Kusanagi. I'll be honest, I don't like Aramasa. This card is so annoying because you lead with this and get drolled, it feels terrible. I would like Saji a lot more because if you lead with it and get drolled, you got the more important search out of the way. You want the spell and trap search more than the monster search because, especially later in the game, this card does not search anything useful. This card will. So, yeah, I do like this card a lot more. If I wanted to trim down these further, I would cut an Aramasa before the Saji because he's always a 1-card combo. Saji is 1.5 and is more flexible and likely to get you more cards that are usable. So, just my thoughts on it. And then you have to run like 1 Kusanagi, it's just great. Yeah, there's some thought for that. Like, potentially might replace like this for like the second Aramasa for like a Zoha, just to make Nunu a bit better, but that's just potential thoughts. I'm not fully sure on this. The rituals, we got the 3 Abakiri, Ame, and Futsu. I don't think anyone's like surprised. I think these are basically standard at this point. I've seen people try 2 of this. I don't like that. I don't think 2 is correct because you can loop the first single one you get very easily, and we also have access to Daybreak, so you can put this back even if it gets removed, and it also lets you get back Kusanagi off Daybreak, so that does help you a lot. Ame also can do any monster that Curse gives their opponent back, so you don't have to worry about like leaving it out for too long, which is kind of nice. And the synergy with Aaron, I love this card. And Futsu's just broken. Who's going to deny that? These cards are, all three rituals are absurdly broken. I mean, who's going to fight that? They're all just stupid. Then for the Mitsu spells, we're running 3 pre-prep. I'm going to count this as 1. I mean, is anyone going to fight that? 3 copies of prayers, 3 ritual, 1 mirror, and 1 purification. The pre-prep is, of course, great until you draw with mirror. I think I drew that once today, which unfortunately made my hand really bad, and it was against the last Malice player. I think being very annoying. But of course, every time it does resolve, it's really good. It's just go +1 and get yourself a starter and a ritual spell. It's better to draw than Aramasa because at the least you get a spell. So if they do draw you, you might be able to still make a play because you have a ritual spell already in hand. Even if it's the worst one, it's still good. Mirror is also great for grind game. It's just really nice to have. Like, I don't think any of these really are changeable. Some might say you should run less of the ritual spell, like 2 or 1. I don't think 1 is a good idea in this deck because if you run 1, if this thing gets negated, you pretty much cry. That's not good for me. I'm also running a higher card count, so I think 3 is more optimal in a higher card count to see it more often. You're not going to see 2 that often, and even if you do, probably you're going to see something else with it. And the ritual spell is also kind of the most broken starter ever if you do have the required ritual monster, which is not uncommon. You have a lot of hands that can get you to the ritual monster with it, so it's pretty often a starter in many hands. So yeah, because no one's going to fight me on saying ritual spell, that Mitsurugi ritual is a starter if you drew a ritual monster. It's just not a 1-card starter, of course. Then we have a bunch of non-engine. You went for 3 Fua, of course, 3 Droll, and 2 Nib. I don't think the Mulcharmy is resolved the entire weekend. Well, it resolved once, but got me no draws at one point. Because against Crystron, I think I dropped it, like, because I downed on Mondo to clear my board, and then chained Fua, which is a funny interaction to keep in mind. But when that happened, I had Futsu and Fua in play. They don't want to commit at all into that, obviously. So he didn't commit at all, which makes complete sense. Why would you give me, like, infinite cards by playing the game? So just so that I'm not going to do anything. So yeah, this card does not do much. It's still good. I just didn't get value off it because it just never resolved. It got a call bite all the time, and Ash a little bit. I think I just didn't see it much, and every time I did it, I was negated. Draw was great. Don't think I would hate on that. But I will say I would prefer to maybe side deck it over main deck it. If I had, like, Perulia, I probably would main that over Draw. I just don't own it, so that's the difference. And then Nib, this card is killer all weekend. This card is a literal god card against Malice. People saying it's bad, you gotta be patient with it. I held it for, like, a lot of their late in their combos, and a lot of people just got nibbed and couldn't recover. I often just lost those games just because my hand was bad. Like, those, or I got hit with Mistaken Arrest in one of them. And yeah, if I get hit with that, I'm dead. Even if I nibbed him for a really good hit, he should have lost. He just had Mistaken Arrest. So yeah, I can't beat that. But you know, those are the only hand traps. I don't play others because if they're not high impact, they're not that good. This includes Ash. I chose not to run even Ash because while I do kind of wish I had it for Charmies at times, it doesn't do enough into Malice. It doesn't do enough into, like, a lot of decks. It's too low impact. I want to make sure I just do as much damage. We're in a combo format. You want to stop your opponent from playing a lot of the time, unfortunately. But this deck can just break a half board. So, you know, I don't really find like Ash does enough. I'd rather just break the board. So the rest of the deck was just breakers. We played 3 Thrust, the 1 Talent, and the 1 Callback. Just anti-hand trap cards, basically. Keep in mind with Thrust as well that Curse's Drawback does turn it on turn 1 to let you search. So there's times you will actually get the card online, even going first to continue out of it. That being said, Thrust is weird because everyone is trying to drool you. So if you get drooled, this card is very bad. Going second, mostly. Going first, it's completely fine because you're going to side into blowouts going first. You can also set Purification going first, which is, of course, very good. But it was very weird when you had, like, when you're going into a board, you go Thrust, they drool, and you get drooled, like, even after resolving Thrust, it just felt terrible. Talent was godsend every time I saw it, same with Callby. They were just good cards. I don't really think we need explanation. Those cards are just broken. Whoop. And the last few, 3 Droplet and 2 Eclipse, I don't think we're questioning Droplet. This card is broken. Definitely put people into corners a lot of the time. It was great. Eclipse was a little worse. Obviously, it's not great to Malice and the Mirror Match it's into. But, like, everything else I was fighting, it was pretty good into. Like, it was pretty solid all weekend, and I did like it. It also was good to, like, dodge hand traps as well. So, I do like this card. So, yeah. Some said I could try, like, Econ. I tried it before, and I didn't like it. I don't think there's, like, single cards you want to take this for that are good other than Caesar. And that's against rogue decks that you usually could beat if you just ran the cards like Eclipse that would out it anyway. Like, I could run a lower board break that doesn't kill it, but, like, still deals with it. And Talent also outs it, to be fair, which, like, Talent's more flexible because it doesn't target and you can thrust for it, so I didn't really feel like that was a problem. Okay, so now for the extra deck. We did just play 2 King and the Code Igniter. I think 2 is mandatory. I've seen some people think you only 1. I don't get that. There are combo lines you'll go through 2 of this. So you do want the second because it comes up in some combo lines, or just have a second for follow-up, because that does come up. Like, this card is really important to run 2 of. Code Igniter, I think I summoned like 3 times. It's basically meant to be a rank 4 that just ritual summons. Meaning if you can't get to ritual spell, this can get you to ritual summoning still. Kind of like a backup plan if your opponent like holds everything to like Ash or Saji. So it came up like 3 times. But one of them I was just flexing. I literally actually didn't need it. I just did it for the hell of it. The second time I got nibbed on the summon of it. And the third time it was like nice just to help me out. I don't think it was like a game determining card in most of those cases. I know someone mentioned to me like Batsmack mentioned like this came up like a lot less than I was expecting because it was like it came up more in testing than in actual play. I'm probably gonna keep playing it for a bit because I don't think it's terrible. But we might get cut at some point. I don't think it's bad though. I do like the card. We played a Chaos Angel, and this card never got summoned the entire weekend. Unfortunately, this card is like, it's good, but it never comes up. The theory behind it was basically that like, you summon like a ritual like Ame over the board nuke, they try to like impermit, you chain Daybreak, and then you get 4 tokens, Ame comes back, you have an 8 and a 2 to make a Chaos Angel and banish another card, and having more banish removal is very useful in this deck. The problem comes up to this situation literally never came up the entire weekend. The only time I actually thought about something was against Crystron. I took their Citrus as talent, and I could have made Citrus plus Curse into this, but they have Cluster, and you can't banish their cards with Cluster up, so this card just does not work against that deck. This probably gonna get cut for a Link Spider, as I didn't run that, and I ended up missing that a bit, as I just weakened my grinding game without that card. It's actually pretty nice to have. Even if I don't like running the extra deck slot for it, but I probably would change that around. That's the only thing I would probably change, though, in the extra deck, I'll be honest. Then for the links, Echidna and Haggard are just incredible cards. Echidna doesn't have a ton as much anymore, but still, whenever it does come up, it can be game determining. It did win me a match, basically, because I was able to get to it against Mitsurugi Smith, and that got me to have a Keyrain full comboed off of like a top deck Snake Rain, because I had to play through an Impermanent Curse, and I did have an extender for it. I had a Purification to block it, but I had to Daybreak Noya. Sorry. Haggard is, of course, a free draw. Literally broken. Free draw and sets up your Daybreak. Absurd card. We have the IP and the SP. I mean, you put these in the end board pretty constantly. You go IP into SP all the time. Just good cards. What do you want me to say about these? They're just good. You do the same. Dark was incredible. It was very good into the mirror match. We only have it once, but it was still nice to have for that. But it was really good into Malice as well. You take like a White Binder, you take like anything, it's really strong and just lets you put your opponent under high pressure to link climb into stuff. I know Daniel mentioned that he took Lilla to make a bow, which was really cool. So yeah, it has a lot of crossover. This card is like really good. I don't think you can afford to not run this because it's so broken into the mirror. Like against an Ame, you either let them take it, or they nuke it, which gets you Aramasa, which is full combo. So they're giving you engine no matter what they do, which is the problem. Or you can take one of their starters. Like I've taken Aramasas off it, or Saji's, and it gets you like engine. It's very important to keep that in mind. Dynamondo came up a lot. Some will question like why you need this, but you can already revive rituals easily enough. You get caught under drool, you're not getting to all the spells, you'll need to revive it sometimes. And the shuffle removal is really powerful against Malice because if they normal Dormouse, you can shuffle away on summon and they don't actually have a way to extend very easily after that without field spell. So this card's like really good at just pushing your opponent to a corner with that. And the self removal is also just good. Self removal is good. The revival is good in your opponent's turn because it just gives you more freedom on like doing it. It also gives you like the ability to play around Lightning Storm to some degree. Like you can avoid your ritual getting Lightning Storm by going IP into Dynamato, can't be charged to IP, should be to bring back a Wave. Yeah, it was pretty good. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention. Dynamato also can be triggered by Special Summon, not Link Summon. So Nephilibus actually triggers this if you summon it. It is an Earth, so you cannot summon it back with a Bow, but still. Speaking of which, we have the Unicorn and the A-Bow. Good cards. You just climb into this all the time. Unicorn's removal was also a shuffle, which is very useful. And it comes up quite a bit. You actually keep your hand pretty well maintained, so this card's actually pretty good. And then a Bow is a Bow. Revive whatever you want. It's so broken. It's so insane, and just it's your end board piece pretty much. It's so useful. I ran Snapper and Coils. The Snapper is just, I think you should be running this. It's just great back removal. Banishes cards set up for Daybreak as well. It's all around a great card, something that the deck needed. Chain Coils, some might go, do you need this? You do. It's really good into Malice because because they have to leave with a normal summon like Dormouse, which means that they won't be able to use hand effects after using its effect, and that means that's like all their extenders, other than Field Spell. So you put them on literally, you have Field Spell as an extender, and like because of how you build your end board, you are going to be ending on the About queue, which can pop the Field Spell, so you're checking that by default. So they have to normal summon a dude, and you can just Ame board duke them afterward, and they almost always die. Like this is why this card is really good. It's also good when you get Reptile locked, because it gives you an actual Link monster to make. That was actually very useful. And the recursion it gives is also nice. Like in some combos, you'll like use it to put King of the Elements back into your extra deck to revive it, and that's pretty nice. These were coming up quite a bit. I did like them. And last card was Access Code. I was a little skeptical because I didn't run this for a while. I tried this out for like this format, and the reason I decided to try it and it actually felt pretty decent was it helps you close games against Malice because you do not want to get into a grind game. If you get into a grind, why bind or rip your entire grave apart, and you're going to die. Unfortunately, that is how it is. So yeah. I do like it. My dog is just here trying to figure out what's going on. He's confused. What are you doing, Zep? Yeah. Like as I mentioned, the only thing that probably makes the extra deck is swap Chaos Angel for Link Spider. I just didn't feel like Chaos Angel come up. It was like more theory based. That was good. Side deck, we have a third Nibiru. So the reason this is in the side is for siding patterns. You want to put this in going first so that you can take out with the Fubas, because I don't want to have those in. So yeah, that's the only reason this is in the side. I'll mention a little bit more about what it is later. But yeah. We do not need to explain this card. Two Meows. This did not. I only own two, and this didn't like come up that much. I did get to use it once against Memento, and it got called by. Like as I mentioned, I never resolved a Charming the entire weekend for like any value. So unfortunately, this card was just not good. But I feel like it's one of the most situational of them all. I like Pearly a little more, but I just don't own it. But Meows isn't terrible. We have a Magatama in the side. Again, this is a card you can side in going first, but you side it mostly so that when you're going second, you can take out your Purification. Because it gives you a better target and a better card to help break boards. This card came up quite a bit. It was actually very good. I did not hate it. I will say it was pretty good. So yeah, I probably will keep writing it in the side. I think it's pretty good. Just the removal is very efficient and useful when you need it. Back removal. I did want this. You're playing a breaker deck. You want to be able to crack boards. This helps you a lot when you're going second into. Like the back row's the most annoying thing. Level are on strike as well, which means that like Duster clears them. And I was also scared of Blue Eyes, so this is very useful against that matchup. I ended up not finding a single Blue Eyes, which speaks volumes. But yeah, it was still nice to have. I liked it. It's also good to the mirror because you at least get to force purification. So yeah. Dark Ruler evenly. These like never came up. I don't think they're terrible, but they literally had no situation to come up. Even though it's like kind of like another back removal card, but I didn't feel like I wanted it. Like if I had Perulia, I'd main that and just side the duels over these. That'd probably be what I do. Right now, I'm not sure what I'd put in these slots because I don't have Perulia. But that's the main reference, I would say. These just never got used. Like, Dark World was like only good into Crystron, and then Evenly was like fine. I mean, they are both at lower ratios than like full, so I didn't really see them that often. But, you know. And then we played 2 more thrust targets for going first. So basically you have 4 cards you can put in going first because of Magatama, though that's not forced, so it's really just like the nib. So mostly this. But also we played Deck Devastation Virus and Seamole Archfiends. Thank you, Emerson, for pointing this deck out. So I was like on the fence about what I wanted to run for the 2 targets, and I think I was almost fully settled on Deck Devastation Virus. But Seamole Archfiends was a tech that Emerson showed me, and it was really good. The other options I was thinking between was like D-Barrier or Daruma Cannon. Daruma's like very good, but it is a little vulnerable to being like popped early. D-Barrier doesn't cover Malice. This does, and it covers a lot more than that. It also covers Fiendsmith, which is really good because they go Moon. You can flip this up and they can't go into Direct Ram. And that was what won me a match against Mitsu Fiendsmith because I drolled him and then dropped Seamole. I was bricked on these, by the way, and then top deck Snake Rain and it full comboed him. So this card was very nice for that match. Deck Dev, I did actually get to resolve on a written feature against Memento, and it did win me, and it did help me win that game. Didn't win me the game on its own, but it did help me because I was able to get, I was able to use Ame to combine with Deck Dev to push him into a corner where he just had 1 card in hand. It was Droplet, but the 2 cards on the field he needed to do a fusion summon, so he'd get stuck. Yeah, these were pretty nice. I think they're very good, and I probably will stick with these. I think they're very good. In the format, and yeah. They're very good when you get drolled and just need to thrust for a target. I only did that for Deck Dev, though, because I hard drew Seamole. Because I bricked. I will also note a couple texts that I didn't run. I'm sure people are questioning these. As I mentioned, I didn't run Zoha, but he is good. I might put him back in over like an Aramasa. But the reason I didn't was because we found we were not needing it in a lot of lines. I felt like we were fine most of the time. You usually would like a 4 with Nunu. But you did miss him a little just to get cards in my hand. That was like one of the most annoying things not having this for would be. Though drawing it can feel kind of weird. So I don't know. This one's like weird. I'm not sure. I'll think about it in time. And then the other one, I know people are going to be yelling at me like, wait, where is this? Where is Zeralock? It's not good. I'm just going to be blunt. It's not good. If you make your full end board in this deck, they are not breaking the end board. So why are we going to an extreme length to lock them out of the game if the end board already wins the game? I felt like it was unnecessary. You want to run it. The other thing is this doesn't work under Drool. If you're getting Drooled, you're not making this. So like, that's not even a good backup plan into Drool unless you have Thrust in hand, which like, you could just Thrust for like a Thrust target. So I don't really see the point. These just don't feel that good to me. I don't like it. I also have never been a fan of the Floodgate aspect of it, I'll be honest. But yeah, it wasn't, I don't really like it a ton. That would be the deck, yeah. I did go 8-3. I went with a round 1 to Voiceless, which I beat. They bricked game 1. And then I decided for Mitsu because I only saw pre-prep. So that was embarrassing having a dead Nib and Fu in hand, but I won the match anyway. Round 2, I got against Malice. And I beat them pretty easily. We had a funny game 3 where I ripped his entire hand apart before he even started his turn. So that was a fun game. Round 3, we got Fiendsmith, Kashtira, Horus Tier, of course. I could not break his board game 2, but I went first twice in game 1 and 3, and I won the match, of course. I got Evil Twin Fiendsmith round 4, broke their board twice. First time with only Engine, which was very crazy. Round 5 got Crystron. Again, broke the board twice with Engine. Broke the board twice. Second time I got drolled as well, and I still won. That's the game where I got Futsumi plus Fu on him, and he had to pass turn basically, so I turn skipped him back. Round 6, I got another Malice. Crazy game 3. Did a cool combo in the battle phase to finish him off and win in time. Or I just won the game. I don't remember how much life he had. Round 7 got Mitsu Fiendsmith. Bricks game 3 on Droll, Seamole, Purification, Droplet, and Water Lily. And I top deck Snake Rain on the next turn because Droll and Seamole's turn skip him, and I win. So 7-0, which was crazy. that was an insane run already. Round 8, I get a written feature versus Carl on the Rise of Nemesis stuff. I get obliterated. I manage to sneak out a winning game too, but I do lose the match. I will probably leave a link in the description to my written features because they are pretty good to keep an eye on. Round 9, I go against YCS Providence. I got very unlucky, go first both games, and I still lose both games because his hands were just custom. Whatever, it's bad to happen once, so I was like, okay, fine. Round 10, I get another written feature against Memento. I win that 2-1. That's where Deck Dev came in and did win me that man. Did help me win after I got drilled in game 3. And then round 11, I go against Malice, and unfortunately, I lose that just because my hands were just a bit too weak. I think I technically bricked game 1, but I did have. I bricked game 1, but it was not like unplayable because I top like the Habakiri. But I drew like pre-prep mirror. That was the only time I drew both together the whole event, and unfortunately, that screwed me up. I drew Habakiri at the top, but I got Ash on Saji, so I just died because the rest of my hand can do stuff because I've also got Curse. I could Ritual Summon, but it would have just died to like any interruption, and I knew we had that, so I was dead. Yeah, unfortunate. And then the last, I won game 2 because he gave me an impulse, and then game 3, I needed a better play. The top deck was droplet. If it was a Mitsu starter, I think I win because he goofed up his combo. It wasn't that good. But I died because he just won by binder banished because all I had was Nunu and got banished immediately. Still a good run. Still great, 8-3. I wish I could have taken it to top cut. That would have been awesome to go all the way to top cut and say I'm the only Ogdoadic player who topped. I think I got probably the best. I probably did like the best of anyone. I know, I forgot his name, but I know someone else did get 50th. I got 60th in comparison, but I think I had the better run up until the very end. So, yeah, take that as you go. That will probably be the deck profile, I guess. Yeah. I usually hang around like Ogdocord or, other places. I am pretty active on Ogdocord though, so if you want to like chat with me there, I will be there. I'll be willing to help you out with the decks because I am very interested to see what people cook up because I've always loved seeing when people innovate with the deck. It's very fun, it's very interesting, and I do enjoy the community. And thank you to everyone who also talked with me at the YCS. I appreciated meeting a lot of you guys. So, yeah, I guess that'll be it for now. See ya.